tell you how I have quantum shifted into a new reality. And that is through connecting to my higher self. Okay, now when we're talking about higher self, that is like an elusive, ethereal being. And we have lots of different higher selves, just like we have a lot of inner children and inner teens. It's not just one. Okay, so you have a higher self a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and on and on and on and on. Where people get stuck often is trying to talk to a multitude of higher selves as one, and then it gets very confusing and overwhelming and overstimulating because you have these super big goals and dreams and visions, and it's like, how the heck do I get there? And so I always suggest, and what I've done, is to talk to my higher self a year from now and get really clear on who that is. And one of the ways that we can do this is working with the Wheel of Life. This is a psychology tool that you can look up on Google, and it varies depending on what areas that you want to improve upon in your life. So you can insert anything that you want in this wheel. Okay, but here we have spiritual, career, finance, family, health, fun and recreation, friends, personal development. What we want to do is figure out where we want to be a year from now, because a lot of us are trying to project 10 or 15 years from now, and that's great. We love those macro goals, but we also need micro goals. That is going to give us the fuel to keep going towards the bigger ones. It's also going to give us more feelings of accomplishment and success as we're hitting these smaller milestones. It's like when I was making $2,000 a month and I wanted to be making 10 or 15K a month, but I set a next month goal of $5,000, ended up making $4,000, but then that next month I made $6,000, and the month after that I made $8,000. Typically we're working through a lot of different layers of like PTSD and trauma and programming and improving our self-concept in order for us to be able to believe that we're capable of shifting into these identities. It makes our goals a lot more accessible when we are working at a year at a time within the bigger umbrella of those 10-15 year goals. Here's the second step. We need to figure out what are the things that they needed to release, this higher self version of you, to become who they are today. What kind of emotions are they feeling? What kind of personality traits do they have? What kind of beliefs do they hold about themselves? And if we can picture them as an actual human being, okay, you know what you look like, okay, but maybe you look different a year from now aesthetically, or maybe your energy, your auric field looks a lot different. That's what I have done to shift into the person I am today. I used to have long blonde hair and I said, you know what, I really want to have like a cool short haircut and it's going to be blue. And then I actually shifted into the person that I am today, but I was envisioning her in my mind's eye as the person that I wanted to become. Okay, here's the third step. Okay, we have gotten all of our 1 year goals, all the things that we needed to release, all the beliefs and the emotions and the personality traits, and we're envisioning what that higher self looks like as a person, what their hair looks like and their makeup or their clothes. Okay, now we need to make time to actually speak to them as much as we can. That can be every day, it can be a couple times a day, it can be a couple times a week, however much that you want to invest in yourself. The more that you do this, the more you actually start to become that higher self version. 1%, 2%, 3%, 10%, 15%, and then one day you wake up and you actually are them. Because when you're connecting to them in the etheric field like this, you're actually doing quantum manifestation, where you are doing internal shifts in order to have it reflected in your external environment. It's different than 3D manifesting, where you're hustling and grinding and trying to figure out and use your logical and analytical skills and what do I need to be doing. When you can actually embody the energetics of your higher self by speaking with them through the field, they will actually give you instructions on what you need to do. You're no longer trying to figure out from your current identity. That's where we start spinning our wheels, okay, when we're not getting answers. But when you go in and connect with this very specific person, it's like having a mentor like you would in like the 3D realm to give you guidance. And the best person to get answers from is you, your soul encodement, your soul plan. This is a muscle that you can build, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger as you do it. I'm at a point now where when I go in meditation and I connect with that higher self, not only am I able to speak with her, I actually temporarily become her, and then I start talking back to me in the present. It is a fantastic way to raise my vibration and raise my frequency, because I'm sitting here talking to me in the present and saying, girl, you need to stop being so stressed out. Okay, I'm already on the other side of all of our manifestations. They are actually a reality. That's why you're able to desire them in the first place. Let me give you some advice on how to get here. And then when I snap back into my present day consciousness, I'm like, oh yeah, there's nothing to worry about. And let me take this action step and contact this person and do this in my business. And it really does create such a clear path. But to begin with, I had to get very clear on who it is that I'm trying to shift into. What do they look like? What are the beliefs? What are the personality traits? What are the things that I had to release? What kind of emotions is she feeling? What kind of actions is she taking? And make time to connect with her. And it's all started with getting out that wheel of life and figuring out what my 1-year goals are underneath my bigger goals, the long-term plans. This process makes manifesting and achieving your goals so much easier. So I would love to hear if you're going to give it a try, and remember to give a follow for more.